Yes, my name's Karen. I'm one of the helpline volunteers, and I was diagnosed with hemochromatosis at January 2018. And towards the end of 2019, I became a phone volunteer.
So that means you've been doing it for about a year, I think, almost.
Yeah, a year, yeah.
And how many hours do you do volunteering?
I tend to do one session a week, which will be between 12 noon and 3 o'clock. And but the good thing about the helpline is it is flexible. So I used to have a fixed day, then could no longer do that day. So now I'm doing sort of Mondays, but can fit in as and when. So some people like their fixed days, other people like to fit in, and doing the phone helpline accommodates that.
And why did you decide to volunteer?
Right. So when I was first diagnosed, I did have a small question, and I can't remember what the question was now. It was very small, but I'd sort of Googled hemochromatosis. I'd found the number for the hemochromatosis helpline, and I thought, oh, well, I'll phone this helpline up and see what happens. And I just thought it was so lovely that I just phoned a number, and this really nice girl, I don't think she does it anymore, she picked the phone up immediately. I didn't have to press 1 or 2 or anything. And then I spoke to someone who was just so friendly, who answered my question. And then we had a lovely chat. And immediately, knowing that she had hemochromatosis, that she had a normal life, that everything was fine, I just thought, well, that was such a good experience. And so a year later, so I immediately joined Haemochromatosis UK, which was brilliant with all the information and everything you get. And then when I received an email asking for sort of a year later, is anyone interested in becoming a volunteer? I thought, oh yes, I'd like to be part of that. It's a very worthwhile thing to be part of.
So what's the best thing about volunteering, do you think?
I think there's lots of good things. Mainly, first and foremost, all the people that you speak to. The callers are so nice, and the fact that the nicest thing is at the end of the call, usually they say, oh, thank you, that's been so helpful. Just that they know they're talking to someone who understands exactly what they're going through, and you can just support each other, and it's just the phone calls are really lovely. I like it. And also the fact that you're having this nice, you feel like you're doing something worthwhile, but it is a very small amount of time, 3 hours a week. So it's not too onerous either. It's just pleasant. And the calls aren't coming in fast and furious. So you can be, I normally do some admin or some home admin or something while waiting for the calls to come in. So it's quite nice to be organised like that as well. Yeah, but definitely talking to the callers are very nice.
And what do you like about Haemochromatosis UK?
I really like the fact, well, I also volunteer for a large national charity in a fundraising capacity, which is also very good, but very, very different. I just think Haemochromatosis UK is a great organisation, and I think Neil is a fantastic chairman who's really raised the awareness. I think everything about it is very professional, but also very accessible. I mean, the website's great, all the booklets are great, all the people, the professional people that Neil's bringing on board is all fantastic, like yourself, Izzy, and the geneticist, and I just think it's very nice. But it feels small, and it's nice to feel part of something that's small but growing, and maybe one day they'll cure hemochromatosis. So it's got the right person in charge to spread the message and make sure that people get the help they need, and hopefully research as well. Yeah, I just think it's a great organisation.
What advice would you give to a new volunteer?
One of the old volunteers, the best thing she said to me on my training day was that she never deviates from the handbook. And I thought, oh, that's good advice, because at the end of the day, you have to remember we are not medical professionals, And so I often say that in a call. Remember, I'm not a medical professional. So my advice would be that advice: do not deviate from the official line, because you don't want to give out bad information.
This wasn't on my list, but I've just suddenly thought, what happens when, for instance, you don't know the answer to it? How do you deal with a question?
Oh yeah, yes. Well, that's brilliant. So mostly, well, the callers, you get a lot of new callers, and so they're quite simple calls really, because to use a modern term, you do signposting. So it's just pointing them in the general direction. So that's easy to do. Then you get some people who've had hemochromatosis for a long time, who have got more detailed questions. And actually, they're also very good callers, because I've learned a lot since doing the helpline. So you learn from the callers as well. But when it's a question I cannot answer, and I think I've had 3 in the year, then I just send them to Neil. So I just escalate. So that's a good thing about being on the helpline as well. There is someone you could, you don't have to be the font of all knowledge. So for very difficult questions, there is support there for you.